Thank you very much for that. You know how much effort I put into writing this?
That's not fair. He does have input in it.
I've got RSI in my wrist. I've been writing so much. No, hang on. No, I'll read for it. No pictures, no centrefold, no nothing. Right. Libraries and Information Unit update, please.
Kia ora koutou, ko Erika Rankin, toko ingoa. I am manager for half of the community libraries in Christchurch City Council, and I'm here today representing Caroline Robertson, who's very ill. She'd definitely be here otherwise. She sends her apologies. It's wonderful to have the opportunity to be able to present to you, to give you a snapshot of our service and some of the wonderful things we've been able to present to council, have available to our communities and have available for our communities. I don't know whether you want me to move us along as I go. Is that what you'd like me to do?
Yep.
Cool. Just bear with me for a second. Okay. So there's a lot in here. I'm not going to try to go through all of it. I'm just going to draw your attention to some of the highlights, although they're all highlights. I know you've had a really long meeting, so just to say in summary that we've got a mixture of data here, some of it from the last year, some of it from the last 6 months. It should be quite clear in the report what we're talking about when I'm talking about statistics and data. But one of the, a couple of the highlights mentioned on that first page in the summary are the removal of holds charges. I know you'll remember that, removed from the 1st of July. That's for items that customers wish to get from another library or another location. And also the South Library redevelopment, which I'll tell you a little bit about when we get to that. So just on those stats, there's some great figures there pulled out to represent our services over the past year. I wanted to just draw your attention to a couple of them, including the customer satisfaction, which, you know, we're really proud to say that we have 95% customer satisfaction. It's been sort of there or thereabouts for the last few years. We do try really hard, as does all of council, but it was really gratifying to see that again in the resident survey 2024. 3.73 million physical visits, as well as 4.57 virtual visits to our libraries. So people still ask us sometimes, our library's dead, our library's dying, can't you do everything online? It's obviously libraries as, thank you, obviously libraries as place. The importance of place, the importance of connecting physically with things, with connections, collections with other people is really critical for libraries and for our customers. And total issues of materials, both physical and digital, have also increased 5.4% from last year. If anything else attracts your attention as we go through, please ask or ask me about it at the end, anything I don't focus on. Just that one quick slide here about the most popular books, July to September 24. We're often asked this by the media. Sometimes it's a surprising result, sometimes not. I wonder how many of you may have read any of those or even heard them talked about on national radio, perhaps, as I have. This slide is highlighting the amazing impact of Matatiki Hornby Centre, which opened, as you know, on the 19th of April 24. And this is just to give you an idea of some of the differences that we've experienced since we've opened this wonderful new facility compared to the old Hornby Library. So 43,000 visits to the library, We've got a 71% increase in attendance at programs, which is amazing, including all sorts of things that you'll see listed there. 58% increase in physical items issued. That's huge. So the size of the collection, I believe, is about the same, but just the way it's displayed, it looks so attractive, and the number of people who are coming in to actually see what we've got available and take them out. And 748 new members enrolled, which is a 107% increase over the old Hornby Library. So there's no denying its success, basically, and well done to all of you who had a part in that. Opening hours also are longer, with a 19% increase, so it's available to that wonderful the wonderful service that we have and the wonderful facility that's on offer is available for longer hours to its community. So all in all, a really great story. The holds fees that I mentioned earlier had an instant effect on our customers, an instant impact. We saw a 93% increase in the number of holds placed by adult members compared to in August compared to August the year before. An interesting fact about that is it's not all the shiny new books that are in the bookshops and everyone wants to read that people are reserving. It's also some of the things that we have kept because they have merit in one way or another, historical or things that there is no other information about, or it's difficult to find things that we have stored off-site. 52% increase in the holds placed on those items. So it's fascinating. I don't know that we would have necessarily predicted that. So there's just one comment here which represents, we got a whole lot of comments right from day one, and we're still getting them from our customers in appreciation of taking off that holds fee. So this person said, I just wanted to say how amazing it is to hear that the library has gotten rid of the holds fees. This is fantastic news, especially with prescription costs going back on. This is really going to help this old reader keep up with his book habit, which is really sweet. And one just from this week, a Hybris comment that said, it came from a customer at New Brighton. They said that having free holds is great, and it's the best thing we've done since we opened Tūranga. We thought that was pretty good too. Public programs and outreach events. We've offered more than 3,292 programs attended by more than 57,340 people. That's across all of our libraries, and there are just some examples there that you hopefully have had a chance to read or to catch up on later. But things that we do, there's a huge variety in the things that we do, and there's a real smattering of things mentioned there, from tree planting at Horseshoe Lake with the Parks unit for Kids Fest to symphony orchestra performing to 660 people in our libraries. And the outreach business that we do, the outreach van goes out to schools and to rest homes and to all sorts of other places. There's two vans, one, I know we have talked about the mobile service here in the past, but one is more traditional, has slightly more traditional visits. The other one goes out to events and where the people are, and we sign people up and we make people aware of the wonderful services that they can access all across the city. And it will also be supporting the community when the South Library closes for its rebuild, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Am I going at about the right pace for you? Am I rushing too much?
No, you're doing good. It's great.
So partnerships is something that's really worth us bringing to your attention too. Partnerships enable us to do things, events, connect with groups that we wouldn't normally be able to do, that we wouldn't have the resourcing to do, or the sort of the expert knowledge that some of our partners have. So it's a match made in heaven to work with people like the Word Festival. They came to Tūranga when it Turanga first opened to have some trial events, and it's just gone from strength to strength. So Turanga is a hugely important part of the Word venue and part of the Word Festival now. And it drew an additional 2,000 visitors to the library over the time of the festival, from the 27th of August to the 1st of September. We've also got a partnership going with the University of Canterbury, particularly their Gaming Guild, and this is in relation to esports tournaments. And once again, they're bringing people from enthusiasts and competitors from not just Christchurch but across the South Island. We help with providing IT kit and support that they wouldn't have, and they wouldn't be able to offer that without us. Also, just another couple to highlight, so since the museum's been closed for their rebuild, we've entering into an MOU with them around all sorts of collaborations, including some touring exhibits that they have available. They have done a little bit of that with schools in the past, but it's been fantastic having them in Turanga in the first instance, and now just branching out to having some of those touring exhibits in our community libraries. They're really well put together, they don't take up a lot of space, they're fascinating, and they remind people of their visits to the museum when they were a child. They're a wee bit of a taster to us to want to go back to see what the new museum will be like. So it's a wonderful collaboration. Yes, working with robotics, working with Environment Canterbury. The Maori Land Court has drop-in sessions with us at Turanga. We've joined forces with Huia Publishers on another program that we hold. So just the huge range that we're able to offer because of those partnerships. We can do more and do it more cleverly. Summer reading is just another one I'd like to highlight coming up, obviously. I don't know whether people are aware of what they call the summer slide as far as children reading. That's when children leave school for those lovely long summer holidays and throw their books away, and if they don't pick up anything to read, to engage with the written word over that time, there's a huge drop-off in their reading ability. And it has a huge and long-lasting impact on reading levels. So it's our business, it's our bread and butter, and it's something we're really proud to be able to continue doing to support those tamariki. And moving on to Omokahi, which everyone knows is the name that we've been gifted for the new facility that will replace the South Library and Service Centre. We've been working with for quite a while now on the design, and we've also been engaging with mana whenua through Whiti Ora. They've given us guidance on aspects of the design. They've gifted a cultural context and a design narrative, and also the name for that facility. At the moment, I believe we are looking at identifying Ngāi Tahu artists who will be able to give life to that cultural narrative, as far as some things that we will be able to see and feel in the building. And coming from working on Turanga, I know what an extra special thing that cultural narrative and the exemplified by the artwork integrated into the building provides. Coming up, so that will be, we're preparing for foreclosure, and we're also preparing for a pop-up library, which you will have heard is going to take place at the Colombo. So we have signed agreements for 2 shops, adjacent shops at the Colombo, where we'll be able to have a small popular library with a small collection, plus some room for some children's programming, some public computers, a little bit of space to study or to sit and relax, a little bit of everything. We're hoping, we know that the Colombo will be a fantastic location for us. We just have to get the word out. We have to set it up. We have to make it attractive and appealing, and we are sure people will come. It's not what they're used to, but it will be something pretty cool. And we've had a lot of experience with that after the earthquakes, where we put up several pop-up libraries in pretty quick time, and they were really, really well used. We'll also be, as I said, the mobile outreach vans will be supporting the closure, so we'll have extended hours also at Spraden Library, and the mobiles will be able to attend retirement complexes and community hubs and schools where that's possible. And something that I think is very, very exciting that you may not have heard about is the work that we've been doing with QWB Lab. QWB stands for Quantum Wellbeing Lab. And we heard about them through the art gallery, our art gallery, who have done a piece of work with them. And what they do is they measure well-being, and the well-being that people who attend cultural organisations like libraries, galleries and museums experience after a visit to one of those places. So it's what's really exciting to me about it is that it's always been hard for libraries and for sort of the cultural side of things to be able to evidence the impact that they have on their communities. It's and supported by data analytics and measurement. So we may be able to come back and tell you some more about this in the future. We've just received the full report, but it is so fantastic to be able to see some of the evidence of our impact on individuals and communities and on their well-being, and demonstrate the value that we give to the citizen dollar, basically. I would just like to read a couple of these comments that came through as part of this, the work that we did with QVB Lab from our public in Tūranga. So I should say it was done in Tūranga as a pilot, and also for us to get an idea about how Tūranga has worked, how it's doing in the eyes of the public, and what could be improved. So some really amazing comments like, after a really busy, stressful day at work, I appreciate having a space where I can decompress and have some introvert time without needing to go all the way home to get it. It isn't always practical to go home before my evening activities, and Tūranga is just a great place to be. All libraries are good for me, but Tūranga, which I can bike to with my kids easily, is my happy place. It's my Tūranga waiwai, really. That the kids can play while I browse, we can connect every now and again over books, stop for something to eat in the cafe, go up to sit in the gardens on the top floor and look out over the city. All of this feeds my soul. Getting lots of writing done, reconnecting with the city centre, the satisfaction of using an accessible space where I'm reminded of others who are different to me. And I try to make it to Tūranga at least once a week. It's my mental health space. When I'm doing well, I get there once on my own and once with my kids. I think for me, visiting Tūranga is like how other people feel about going to church on Sunday. I think that's my favourite one. So yeah, this is something that I think is really fascinating, and once the full report has just landed, and it will be really great to look into that in some depth, and to think about what we can do improvements-wise to make it an even better wellbeing experience. And we may also be able to do some work with the art gallery on what they've discovered and what we've discovered together. And just finally, on our web presence, the way we reach our communities online, 1,760,886 views of christchurchcitylibraries.com. And the top 5 pages, just for your interest, are information around Justices of the Peace services, learning Philippine greetings, Matariki for kids, the About Tūranga page, and how to join the library. So, and then also some variety of the 12 Newsline stories that we've added as well. So sorry to have to race through that.
No,
But I was
it's
very aware of
very, very good.
your attention, how your attention spans may be at the end of a hard day.
Erica, thank you so much for your very positive presentation and being jumped in at the deep end. I certainly hope Carolyn gets better soon. She sounds like she's pretty crook. Do you want me to tell her that you did a lot better job than she does?
Couldn't possibly comment.
No. but thank you very much. We've got some questions from Tyler, and then Sarah, then Mark.
Kia ora. Thank you so much for your report. My whānau frequents Upper Riccarton Library and Tūranga every single week, and my wife actually buys a non-fiction book, and it's like a reality TV show. She'll update me every day on what's changed. For me, I'm more of a James Clear kind of guy, the Atomic Habits book, but a Simon Sinek. But irrespective of that, I just wanted to ask a few things, and the first one was the Reading to Dogs program. How's that going?
It's going really, really well. We could do it, if we had the dogs available, the time available, the resource essentially available, we could do a lot more of it. We've got our libraries clamouring for it because I think it's in 3 libraries at the moment, and libraries often ask, when's our turn? So it's fantastic.
I love hearing that. I saw that at Matatiki the other day. The next one is talking about the numbers, and I'm really interested in the native app usage with the libraries. How is that going? Do you have?
I'm afraid I don't know. I can't
That's
tell
okay.
you, but I can find out for you. So
Yeah, that's fine.
Let me take that away and I'll find out for you.
That's fine. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I wonder if any dyslexic dogs get above their station.
Yeah. Kia ora. Hey, thanks so much for the report. Really comprehensive. Just a quick question. The pop-up library for South Library at the Colombo, before it moves to Umukahi, that'll be able to get holds. So that's the key thing, isn't it? So people will be able to, even though it's a small collection, people will be able to choose what they want online and go and pick it up.
Absolutely.
Great.
If I'm wrong, I'm very sorry, but as far as I'm concerned, that's a key focus.
Yeah, if you're wrong, we'll just fix it and you'll be right. Yeah.
Thank you. And that was great seeing the update there on Matatiki. It certainly has been a hit in the community. Being very accessible, I think, is how people are seeing it with the pools and the library. It's a great space to have my councillor corner, which is really appreciated. Also, I'm getting some questions from some local justices of the peace, and at the moment we don't have justices of the peace services going into that library.
Okay.
Is there a possibility to investigate that?
Yep, there certainly is. Sometimes it comes from the justices of the peace. They say, we have been asked, can we?
Yep.
Sometimes it comes from the community, so we certainly can.
Yep, and a number of times I get asked
Yep.
when I'm councillor corner, am I a justice of the peace? It's quite astounding. So there's obviously a bit of a, I guess, community expectation. So we don't want to take away from the old Hornby Community Centre, but if we can add some extra access, that would be quite useful.
I can
Okey-doke.
certainly
No,
find out
I don't
for you.
pretend.
Thank you, Erica. That was absolute.
I was going to preface it with a paragraph, but I thought I might not do that, like everyone else. I just want to know what's happening with the slide. Tauranga, obviously.
Yes, I believe it's still being evaluated. More that if we take it out, it's a huge piece of furniture. It's not just furniture; it's a huge piece of the building, really. That needs to come out with and then associated changes would need to be to be made in that space to make the best use of the space. And it's really sad for me because I was establishment manager for Tūranga and I know that it was asked for, particularly when we went out to the public in our engagement. I don't know which direction we will go in, whether it will be spreading our services out now that we know how that floor is used more, or whether there will be an opportunity for, hopefully, for something that is fun. May not be a slide or anything close to playground equipment, but the whole floor is fun, basically.
Okay. Okay,
I've
could I
certainly
get
seen them in a lot of other libraries.
Brilliant. We have a mover and seconder for this, so I'll put the receiving this report. Yes, you can.
Just want to thank you and your staff for the Colombo choice with regards to the temporary library. It's I think it's a fantastic venue for us. We originally looked at Barrington and Mall and others, but to put it there, I think is really, really excellent. So thank you very much for that. Cheers.
Good on you. And with that, I'll put the motion on that. All those in favour? Against? Thank you. That is carried. And thank you very much for coming in.
Good. Thank you
Brilliant.
so much for your attention. It's lovely to be able to get in front of you.
Now, we've got the highlight of the day.
No, that's right.
No.